Hello, Taurus. Here I am with the weeklies. Yep, I know we're close to the weekend. Happy weekend to you, friends. I hope you're well. I've got some oracles. We're going to use some oracles this week. And, we're already after the full moon. And, a lot of us are dealing with Uranus stuff, right? Uranus is going to be at the 29th degree soon. Like, God, y'all, I'm a Taurus sun. I feel it. I'm tired. Just like you were saying in the comments, you're tired too. I get it. But anyways, so I'm here to do a reading. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what you're releasing. I figure we talk about what you're releasing, what is changing, all that kind of stuff, because there's a lot of changes going on for everybody, not just Taurus. And no matter what your sign is, you're going through a very big change right now because of everything that's going on in Aquarius. So yeah, there's a lot of planetary craziness going out there. And so let's just talk about what might be changing, what you may be released, or what lever you may have pushed. You may have pushed a lever that is going to now make some change. Look at that. The first card that flew out is Flow and Awaken. Yikes. Holy yikes, Taurus. And those just flew right out the deck, right? Let's find out what else is going on for Taurus. Look, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to put some tarot on top of it. If you've never been here before, sorry, I'm sort of all over the place. I haven't had use of this room because they've been doing renovations in my condo. So I'm kind of out of sorts. So Taurus, I'm going to do these. Yeah, they said I'll put tarot on top of it. And at the end of this, I'm going to tell you how to get a private read. I'm also going to tell you about the extended. All right, one more card for Taurus, please. Surrender. Yes, yes, yes. Bottom of the deck, we have freedom. Look, I really think that whatever changes you're going through, whatever it means, if it means you're releasing something, if there's some big changes and shifts and stuff going on in your life right now, look at it planetarily because there is a lot going on, and check with your favorite astrologer. Look, we've got Flow, Awaken, and Surrender. I feel like you're being pushed into a position that you can no longer ignore. There is something here that is now at your doorstep. It's time for you to take care of it. Maybe it's something that you're like, I don't really want to deal with that right now. It feels like you're going through another awakening, Taurus. Some of you are going through your very first awakening, and if you are, damn, I'm just going to say it's hard. It's really, really hard. And the hardships you're feeling are real. Like, they're real. So I feel like in order to get you into the flow, you have to go through an awakening. But in order to go through the awakening, you must surrender, which means that the universe is saying, look, just let me change things around. I need to do that for you. Let me do that. Let's look at one of, and I feel like all of this leads to your freedom, Taurus. It leads to you lifting yourself to higher heights. Aw, I just heard the song. Have you ever seen the movie Saving Mr. Banks? It's about Mary Poppins and the story of Mary Poppins. You should see it. It's a beautiful movie. I just heard the song, Let's Go Fly a Kite Up to the Highest Heights. And so that's the song that is from that movie. Ooh, I just got head to toe chills. Somebody here is lifting themselves to the highest heights. But look, I feel like somebody is crawling out of some sort of pit. Whether that is emotionally, financially, friendships are imploding. I think you're going through a lot of crap right now, Taurus. One more card. Oh my gosh. Yes, you are. I would say yes. That's it. Thank you for coming out to my TED Talk. Okay, so a fresh new way of living emerges, and it's a fresh new way of living that is going to give you freedom, Taurus. I promise you, it's all happening for a reason. I know it feels like crap right now. I know it does. But it is happening all for a reason. We've got grace and gratitude. Through gratitude, joy expands. I feel like after all of this goes down, that you will be in a place of, you know what, I'm kind of grateful as I look back there about all that stuff that happened back in 2026. I feel like as you get, as you start moving through the year, the middle of the year, close to the end of the year, you're going to start to see the reasons why things had to move and work out the way they did. I thought I'd bring up my surrender deck because look, we've got surrender. And I feel like there is something here that you're going to have to surrender, which means you're just going to have to let it be. Let it be as it is, Taurus. What should Taurus surrender? And listen, please remember this is all general readings, general information. This may not pertain to you. Please don't be offended. Don't give your power over to a tarot reader and think that, yep, it must be happening for you because it's not always for you. Tell me what Taurus needs to surrender, please. Surrender your fear of change. Look, I don't know what's going on here right now, but it freaks me out when stuff starts moving in this place that when I make a thought pattern at the beginning of the reading and all of a sudden everything follows the thought pattern, I know somebody's listening. So, and someone is, of course, always, right? It says the universe is reminding you that you are cared for always, whether you're afraid of change in your job, your health, or your relationships, as I was saying, or if you fear aging or death, repeat the affirmation, I have faith that all is well. And what is faith? Things that are not seen, right? Things that are not seen, but you know that they're there. We're just going to leave that right there. So I think that we have an obsessive thinker in the group. I'm just going to say, it says, if you're obsessing about a person or a situation, turn the dilemma over to spirit. Doing so will help bring you clarity or even solve the problem. Hand it over, friend. Yeah, it's time to hand it over. All right, let's get to some tarot. Tell me about Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter signs. Tell me about Taurus. What else do we need to know about Taurus, please? Tell me about Taurus, my bull gang. Tell me about my bovine friends. We've got the Queen of Wands. We've got the Page of Wands. We've got the Seven of Wands. And we have the Five of Wands. Wow, 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 wow. Look, movement, action. Things are moving. You might be in the middle of your transformation. It could feel like things are falling down around you. This is all because everything must have movement. It's time to release or surrender the stagnation, Taurus. And I say that lovingly and kindly. You know that I do because I'm a Taurus sun. And I say it especially to those of you who are Taurus moon. You're having the hardest time here. Because when it comes up in the rising, you're very organized and you're good in business and all of those things. And you make careful, very metered decisions. But when it comes up in the moon, gosh, you can be a late bloomer. Everything could hold you back because you're slow to make decisions. Because your soul is holding all the information and saying, wait, it's not time to go yet. The sun can be also very energy that is very slow moving, right? So I think that all of this is happening because of action. So we got flow, which has brought up the Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands is telling me that in order for you to get in the flow, something big has to happen. Look, the Queen of Wands is not entering the room quietly. She's not quietly sitting in the corner. No, he or she, right? Feminine or masculine leaning. The Queen is walking into the room and shifting the energy there. I'm here. It's a big, bold move. I'm walking in and people are going to notice me because attractive, fire energy. I know what's going on. I'm attracting things to me. So I feel like you've been attracting all of this change, but also been avoiding. So it feels like, come here, go away. I don't want to deal with you right now. I'm just going to have you sit on the porch while I'm waiting to get the bravery that I need to figure things out. But I think that the universe is no longer waiting for you because transformation is here. We've got the Page of Wands. The awakening is here. Wow, right? So the awakening is here with the Page of Wands. This is thrilling. This is exciting. This is a curious time. But holy crap, is it hard because awakenings are tough. If you're going through your first awakening, yeah, it feels like hell. It feels terrible. If you're going through hell, just keep walking, friend. If you're somebody who's already been through your first awakening, and now this is your second major awakening or your third, I feel like you are looking at it, I'm going to say you're at the beginning as a child would, being very curious about how to move forward and trying to keep all of the balls in the air, trying to, bob and weave so you don't get hit by the things falling from the tower. We've got the Seven of Wands in surrender. And the Seven of Wands to me is learning how to stand up for yourself, but it's also putting the blocks in place where you need them. It's like, I'm blocking you, I'm blocking you, I'm blocking this. I need silence behind my boundary. It feels like you're putting up boundaries. You've decided that it's time to watch your back, that not everybody's your friend. I feel like you're surrendering to this. You're surrendering to the place where, fine, I'll put up the boundaries. Because now I'm going to start to see who's in it and who's not, who's with me and who's against me, right? Who's on the bus and who's under it. We do have the Five of Wands. Look, you're fighting this transformation. You're going kicking and screaming, Taurus, because the change is hard. And we know that how? Because change is hard, right? We know that just right here, fear of change, right? So I feel like, Taurus, that this Page of Cups is here. Look, I'm telling you that I really do feel from the bottom of my little psychic heart that good news is coming. The good news is coming, but it looks a little hellish right now. I feel like you're going through a lot of, with the Page of Cups on the bottom of the deck, the future is bringing surprises. It's bringing things you didn't expect. And look, that's the influence of Uranus leaving Taurus. It is finally leaving Taurus, but everything crazy happens at the 29th degree. So please find yourself an astrologer who will work that path for you and tell you when that's coming and when to expect the worst of it or the best of it, right? Let's talk about the Queen of Wands and this flow here. We've got the Four of Pentacles, we've got the Hanged Man, and we've got the King of Wands now. So listen, I really do feel that the Four of Pentacles is holding back. Nope, I'm not doing it. You can't make me. Nope, I'm shut off and I'm shut down. I'm not vulnerable. I'm not showing my feelings. And I'm going to keep repeating the same path over and over and over again, expecting a different result. The Hanged Man is here. I'm trying to find the perspective. Give me a moment. Four of Pentacles, give me a second. I'm trying to find my perspective. Don't push me into doing it. And then the universe shows up with the King of Wands energy. The King of Wands does have the wisdom to know that I have to move forward, but it's going to be in a contained way. I'm not going to just burn the whole forest down just to make sure that I got the one spot that needed to be burnt down. The King is practicing from mastery, is mastered their fire. So they know, I'm going to say that it is in terms of an email. Let's just say something terrible happened and now you need to write a strongly worded email to someone. That's when the King of Wands comes in handy, because the King of Wands is going to take the emotion out of it, go with the fire, and is not going to burn down the forest for the trees, is going to go to that specific thing and speak on it. So I feel like this is something that you've been holding back, and you've been holding back your wisdom. I feel like you will be getting wisdom, and that's what's going to put you in the flow. But I also feel like you're going to be reminded by the universe here that it's okay for you to take up space in the room, which is the Queen of Wands. It's okay. You no longer have to hold back your fire, my friend, whether you have a fire placement or not. Tell me about the Page of Wands, please. This awakening here. It's also, the Page of Wands is like, I can do what I want to do. Don't tell me what to do, right? This is like the defiant teenager, right? The Page of Wands. Don't tell me what to do. I can do what I want to do. I think that you're figuring that out in some sort of an awakening process here, that you are at the beginning of a path that looks ominous, it looks scary, it looks dark, and you're really not sure what to do, but you are curious, I feel, about what's to come. Look at this, the Ten of Cups is here. I really love that. We have the Eight of Cups, and we have the Queen of Cups. Is that the Queen of Cups? Sorry. Nope, it isn't. It's the Queen of Pentacles. Sorry, I need new glasses, I think. So I feel like you should be curious, because on the other side of this awakening, my friend, is the Ten of Cups. This is all preparing you for the freedom to have joy, to actually have joy. It might look terrible, like something imploding financially. It might look like a relationship that you're losing. It might look like a romantic relationship that is broken down for the purpose of leaving your life, because it's time for you to surrender and put up the boundaries with people who are just taking and not giving and not returning energy. I feel like this awakening for some of you is financial. For some of you, things are imploding around you financially. And I do believe that it is building you or preparing you to be the Queen of Pentacles. We do have the Eight of Pentacles. It's asking you to walk away from financial things that are no longer serving you in order to give you stability. And what I mean by that is maybe the erroneous spending. And I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I don't really care what you spend your money on. But the fact of the matter that we had the Eight of Cups here and the Queen of Pentacles tells me it's time to turn your back. It's time to walk away. You have to stop settling for whatever it is that you're settling for, because what's coming in the future is the Queen of Pentacles energy. But listen, you can't be the Queen of Pentacles if you got a pile of debt. You can't be the Queen of Pentacles if you're spending so much that you can barely make ends meet at the end of the month. So I feel like somebody here is being forced into a curiosity of their material world. So that's house, home, hearth, health, right? It's like it could be the health for you. Maybe you're going to have a health scare and it's time for you to pay attention. I don't think that it's going to be anything terrible, but it might be like, you go for blood work and the doctor says, look, your blood sugar's on the line. You really need to take care of that. I feel like it's something like that. It feels like something is not quite tipped, but you catch it at a point where it could tip if you turn your back and ignore it. I feel like it's time for you to be curious about what it is that you need to get straight here. Tell me about surrender. Tell me about surrender. I feel like you just need to surrender to the fact that you're going to have to build boundaries, that there's going to be people who are only going to show up when they need something, and those are the people that will wander away from your boundaries, Taurus. And you're loyal. That's going to hurt. It's going to hurt a lot. We've got the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, we've got the Lovers. Oh boy. And we've got the Chariot. Yeah, I do feel like we've got, and the Knight of Cups. So for some of you, this is relationship related. You might be in a relationship where you're giving more than you're getting in return. Some of us will get into those relationships. I had that relationship and no longer have it. But it came through an awakening for me that I was in this place where I was being used up and not necessarily getting anything back. So I feel like with this Knight of Pentacles, it's something that you've been at for a long time. Taurus, there's something here that you've been patient with, that you've been reassessing. No, that's not really what they meant. No, I'll just push that under the carpet. I don't want to deal with that right now. It does feel like the universe is bringing it to your face in terms of a transformation. It's time for you to notice it. And we're getting very close to the time when Uranus is going to be leaving Taurus, and it is at these points that things are going to start getting a little bit crazy. The Chariot here is discipline, right? Discipline of emotions, but it's also discipline. You have to have discipline before you can have victory or success. There's no way you can have sloppy success. I mean, you can have it, but it will be very temporary. But understand with the Queen of Pentacles here, the universe is trying to position you in a way that's going to give you longevity in your stability, financial, material, health-wise, whatever it is. And so, yes, you can get in the Chariot, you can race off. We see it all the time with influencers, right? They race off to their happiness, to their success. They call it success, but when it comes down to it, they've realized that they've spent their fortune. And we are looking at the Lovers. So I feel like the choice here, I feel you need to surrender to discipline. You need to really look around, reassess, weigh and measure, be very practical about where you're going to place your boundaries. It's time for you to stand up for yourself and notice around you who is with you, who's against you, who's on the bus, who's under it, right? We've got the fresh new way of living. I feel like that's what this is all telling me, that the freedom to be here is going to take valiant courage, right? The freedom to be in grace and gratitude. Through gratitude, joy expands. Joy expanding is your 10 of Cups. And then we have valiant courage. But it's going to take valiant courage, my friend. Taking action with passion. And that's all of the fire energy that we see here. The Five of Wands and the transformation. Look, you cannot fight the death card. You can't fight transformation. You're going to terrorize yourself if you go kicking and screaming. So that's why it's asking you to surrender to some sort of place of discipline, a place of everything that is under the surface must come to the surface. It all needs to be sorted out. It feels like the Five of Wands tells me that you are fighting the transformation. For some of you, not all of you, and that you don't want things to change, right? Because we have here, you have a fear of surrendering to change. Tell me more. The Eight of Pentacles in the reverse, we have the Moon and we have the Ace of Pentacles. So look, maybe some of you are in the midst of the transformation, but you don't know where to go from here. You see the golden egg, you see the Ace of Pentacles, you see that there's a new beginning in the distance, but you don't know how to get from where you are, feeling pissed off that everything's changing, feeling pissed off that I have to change. It feels like somebody here with the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse says, I'm not putting any more energy into this. I don't know where I'm going until you tell me what is in the gray zone. Because look, Taurus, you don't like the gray zone. You like the lights on or off. You like it dark or light. You don't like the gray zone in the middle, right? The murky waters. I feel like you know that something is coming that's good, but I feel like you have to go through the transformation before you can have the freedom, before you can surrender to anything, before you can have the grace and gratitude. But it's what you're doing here is you've got to overcome your fear of change. I'm going to put down some cards here. We're going to go into the extended. This usually ends up being what happens next or something to do with either what happens next or some advice that might help you get through this really hard time for you, Taurus. If you want to go to the extended, please look at all the comments at the very top. There's one pinned comment. Please click on read more, and when you do, you will find the membership link. All of these go into the membership, where you will get 4 you will get 4 in a month, 4 extendeds in a month. If you're interested in a private read, please know that I am offering private reads that are live, also private reads that are pre-recorded. My live readings have been here, there, and everywhere because they've been doing condo renovations here, and so I'm trying to do whatever I can do to work around them. So the readings that are pre-recorded begin at $25 and go from there. I am caught up at this time, so if you're interested in that, please take the link to Hypsee. You'll see it there. Let's find out what's going on for Taurus in the extended. What are we talking about? We've got the High Priestess. We've got the 4 of Swords. Yeah, what you don't see here, I feel like that what you don't see is that this is all for the purpose of your healing. It's here for the purpose to heal your 9 of Wands. Taurus, I feel like the universe sees you're burnt out. I feel the universe sees your deity, whoever's got their eyes on you, sees that you're burnt out, that you are laying on the ground. I'm going to say flip over on your back and look at the stars while you're there, because it's really the only way you're going to get through any of this. I feel like this is the purpose. The purpose of all of this going down is for your healing, but we do have the High Priestess, and the High Priestess is the one that's staying silent. Look, if there's one thing I know about Taurus energy, it's that you're going to stay silent while all the shit's hitting the fan, right? You're going to stay silent about it and take care of it by yourself. I know you're someone who doesn't really want to put your things on anybody else. So I feel like there's going to be some information here about how you can do that in the best way without breaking your mental health. I'm going to go into the extended. If you'd like to be there, that's where I will be next. And if this is where we part, that's cool. I'll be back because I'm always back, Taurus. Love you guys too much to stay away. I'm going to go for now. See you in the extended. Bye-bye.